right. Uh, I'm having a problem on Binance Live. Let's fix that. All right, this should work. All right, there we go. Had a technical problem with Binance Live, but figured it out. It happens every once in a while. The streaming system isn't always the same. All right, hello everybody. This is Hashed Out Daily Crypto News with Cryptopolitan. I'm your host, Phil Pripe, and today is the 7th of September, 2023. Nice to have you guys with us as we go through today's crypto news. So let's start out with something a bit less heavy than the last few days. Justin Bieber's hit song company to be released as an NFT. Justin Bieber's hit song company will be released as an NFT. Fan empowerment and creator recognition through blockchain. That's the whole point of it. That's set to happen September 7th. Another block, a blockchain-centric music technology platform, collaborates with Andreas Scholler, known as Accident, to release the hit track company as a non-fungible token, with only 2,000 copies available. Global pop icon Justin Bieber's song will be transformed into an NFT, providing fans with a unique opportunity to invest in a stake of the royalties. That's a different way of doing it. Ethereum Layer 2 network base suffers temporary outage. We had this happen with Shibarium on launch recently, so it's not uncommon. Ethereum Layer 2 network base suffered a brief outage that lasted more than 30 minutes. Explosive growth and implications for Layer 2 network. Base network administrators blame the issue on an internal delay. Explosive growth and the implications for Layer 2 network. So DeFi Llama data suggests that Base has generated $6 million in protocol fees, partly due to its popularity among the meme coin community. In a show of agility and growth, it has made several significant announcements just in the past week. It declared native support for USDC and revealed integrations with Ledger Live and PancakeSwap, the PancakeSwap DEX. Base has also secured partnerships with notable entities like Chainlink, Aragon, and various well-known consumer brands. So there's a lot happening at Base. All right. The next Crypto Gem TV show premieres on September 7th in 56 countries. What? The next Crypto Gem, dubbed The Shark Tank of Crypto, goes live on September 7th in 56 countries. The show is produced by the Hourglass Collective, a Web3 incubator with an aim to bridge the gap between crypto and mainstream entertainment. Season 2 planning is underway as the show takes major turns in setting the ground for global crypto adoption. Okay, that's one way to do it. I wonder if that's going to take off or not. Wait, where can you watch this? Will feature a number of crypto influencers. The show promises to introduce blockchain technology and digital assets to a mainstream audience. Will air on Insight TV's 178 platforms in 56 countries and multiple online platforms. Where? Okay. Insight TV, I guess. Interesting. Marathon's Bitcoin mining suffered a slight decline in August. Marathon Digital has announced that its Bitcoin production declined by 9% last month. Future expansion plans and financial milestones. In August 2023, Marathon Digital Holdings, a United States-based cryptocurrency mining operator, achieved significant milestones in its operations. The company produced 1,072 Bitcoin during the month, marking a 9% decrease from July, but an impressive five-fold increase compared to August 2022. The firm recently shared unaudited Bitcoin production and miner installation updates for August, providing insights into its growth and plans. So if you want extra info on that, increased its US operational hash rate by 2%, reaching a total of 19.1 exahashes. The transition from Bitmain Antminer S19J Pro miners to more efficient S19 XP models played a pivotal role in enhancing their operational efficiency. Raised its installed hash rate by 1% to reach 23.1 exahashes during this whole thing. So they plan to expand further to 30 exahashes. Mighty quiet in the chat, guys. Don't hesitate to say something if you want to talk about mining, or if you have questions, or if anything else is going on in crypto you want to talk about. SBI Remit expands Ripple-based remittance services to Southeast Asia. That's funny. There are cars and vans in the water on this AI-generated thing. That's pretty cool. SBI Remit, a subsidiary of Japan's SBI Group, has expanded its XRP-based remittance services to Vietnam, Indonesia, and the Philippines in collaboration with Ripple and SBI Ripple Asia. The expansion aims to streamline international remittances by using XRP as a bridge currency, allowing for quick and low-cost money transfers. The service is facilitated through a strategic alliance with Trianglo PTE Limited, a long-term Ripple partner. The decision to target Vietnam, Indonesia, and the Philippines is strategic, as these countries have a significant share of remittances directed to bank accounts. SBI Remit anticipates that the new service will accelerate crypto adoption in these nations. We'll see if that works out well for them or not in the future. Senate confirms Philip Jefferson as Federal Reserve's next vice chair. Philip Jefferson has been confirmed as the next vice chair of the Federal Reserve by the U.S. Senate with an 88-10 vote. That's a pretty good support base. Jefferson's confirmation follows Lael Brainard's resignation earlier this year. Jefferson's vice chair role is in addition to his term as a governor ending in 2036. Okay, let's see. His tenure as vice chair will be in addition to his ongoing term as a governor, which is set to conclude in 2036. The Senate's decision comes when other significant nominations are on the horizon. Fed Governor Liza Cook is running for a full 14-year term, while former U.S. Department of Labor chief economist Adriana Kugler is being considered for one of the board's vacant seats. Should they be confirmed, both Cook and Kugler will serve until 2037. The leadership composition of federal agencies, including the Federal Reserve, plays a pivotal role in shaping the regulatory approach to emerging technologies like cryptocurrencies and blockchain. While there has been speculation about the Federal Reserve's interest in introducing a central bank digital currency, such plans are on the back burner for now. Notably, potential 2024 presidential candidate Ron DeSantis has expressed his reservations about the Fed venturing into the digital currency domain. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, in his address to Congress in June, emphasized the need for a comprehensive federal strategy to oversee stablecoins. Hi, Malik 4800. Nice to have you with us. Powell, a proponent of multiple interest rate hikes set to impact markets in 2023, is expected to complete his current term at the Fed in 2028. As the US financial sector undergoes these transitions, the decisions made by its leadership will undoubtedly have far reaching implications for the nation's economic trajectory. China's Shandong province sets ambitious $20.5 billion metaverse goal by 2025. It's an unusual goal for a region. China's Shandong province has released draft guidelines with the aim of building a $20.5 billion metaverse market by 2025. The province that's also only 2 years away. The province plans to construct metaverse-related industrial parks and nurture at least 100 metaverse firms. The local government in Shandong aims to facilitate companies in applying for at least 3,000 international and domestic patents by 2025. The metaverse is defined as an integrated digital space combining technologies like virtual reality, blockchain, and artificial intelligence. Shandong's initiative aligns with China's broader ambitions in blockchain technology and the metaverse, as evidenced by similar plans in other provinces and a national focus on homegrown blockchain technology. Just for curiosity's sake, going to look up Shandong province really quickly, see where it is. Okay, so it's between Hebei and Jiangsu, so between Shanghai and Beijing on the coasts. Okay, because I don't always remember all the. I felt like that would be where it was, but I wasn't sure. It's that peninsula sticking out. Interesting. All right. Binance faces leadership exodus amid regulatory crackdown. This is a continuation of what's been going on for a while. A lot of the top executives have been leaving Binance. Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, has experienced the departure of two senior executives, Gleb Kostarev and Vladimir Smirkis, who were overseeing operations in Eastern Europe and Russia. They join a list of other high-profile exits, adding to the challenges facing the company. The departures come amid increasing regulatory scrutiny from the US and other global authorities, including lawsuits from the US SEC and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC. CEO Changpeng Zhao acknowledged the departures but did not elaborate on the reasons. It's been going on for a while now. Roman Storm pleads not guilty in Tornado Cash laundering case. Hi, user B5E9F and Mustafa 2007. Nice to have you guys with us. Roman Storm has pleaded not guilty to conspiracy charges to conduct money laundering in a U.S. court. Protests in support of the accused have erupted, especially in Amsterdam. I'm not sure how that's going to help his case. The U.S. Treasury Department had previously flagged Tornado Cash for laundering up to $7 billion in cryptocurrencies. The charges were brought against them last year, carrying a maximum sentence of 20 years. That's to Roman Simonov and Roman Storm. The case has garnered significant attention within the legal framework and among key players in the cryptocurrency industry. Many believe that the founders are being unfairly targeted for the actions of users who exploited their code for illicit activities. Many funds were linked to the Lazarus Group, a North Korean hacker organization, for the $7 billion that were previously flagged as money laundering. This led to the protocol receiving a negative label, putting it in the same category as Blender.io, another cryptocurrency mixing service that had been sanctioned. Judge Catherine Polk-Fela, who oversees a high-profile case between Coinbase and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, presides over the Tornado Cash case. The outcome of this legal battle is being closely monitored, as it could set a precedent for how cryptocurrency-related claims are handled in the future. Roman Storm's decision to plead not guilty is likely a strategic move advised by his attorney, Brian Klein. The following 30 days are expected to be crucial for Storm and his legal team as they gather evidence to support their case. The arraignment has clarified that the court believes there is a case to answer. It adds another layer of complexity to the ongoing debate surrounding cryptocurrency technology's legality and ethical implications. Binance's smart contract miracle. Xertum $3 million scam victims rejoice. What's happening? Binance has taken a significant step in addressing the fallout from the Xertum rug pull incident by introducing an automated smart contract to facilitate the reimbursement of affected users. Binance acted swiftly upon receiving reports of the Xertem rug pull, taking immediate action to freeze the suspected fraudulent funds within its platform. Xertem, which was built on the Arbitrum blockchain, managed to raise a significant sum of approximately 1,909 Ether, equivalent to around $3.2 million, through a series of fundraising rounds in April. Let's see. These fundraising efforts included 2 direct initial coin offerings and 2 community sales via liquidity bootstrapping pools provided by Fjord Foundry and SushiSwap. One noteworthy incident during this fundraising phase was the abrupt cancellation of a scheduled Xertem token initial airdrop offering, IAO, by the Arbitrum-based decentralized exchange AlienFi. This cancellation occurred just 5 minutes before the IAO was set to commence, triggered by the discovery of an undisclosed Xertem seed sale that was executed well below the previously negotiated price. This development raised concerns within the cryptocurrency community about the transparency and integrity of the Xertem project. Shortly after successfully raising capital, the Xertem project owners executed a rug pull, a malicious action that involved draining all assets from the Xertem smart contract. However, what sets this particular incident apart is that all the stolen funds were directly deposited into Binance, bypassing the typical methods used to launder ill-gotten gains through mixers or bridging services. This direct deposit into Binance facilitated the exchange's ability to identify and freeze the stolen assets on May 4th, preventing further dispersion of the misappropriated funds. That's amazing. That doesn't usually happen. So they made a mistake that means they didn't manage to steal all that money from people. That's awesome. Digital currency's unwanted role in the culture wars. So amid the growing political turbulence and societal divisions of our age, a new player has entered the arena, cryptocurrencies, or more specifically, central bank digital currencies. As nations from China to Nigeria embrace digital currencies, their true implications in the modern world raise eyebrows and fuel conspiracy theories. Just a handful of years ago, CBDCs were largely confined to the hallowed halls of financial institutions and policy discussions. Their purpose seemed simple enough, a digital representation of tangible currency backed not by private companies, but by the weight of national central banks. Fast forward to today, and CBDCs have morphed into political footballs. Across the globe, over 100 nations are contemplating the CBDC route. China's e-yuan, designed for better control and surveillance, and Nigeria's e-naira, aimed at curtailing informal cash transactions and election fraud, serve as examples. Both the US and UK have hopped on the bandwagon too. The Federal Reserve has already solicited public opinions on CBDCs, and the Bank of England is mulling over the inception of a digital pound. Why this surge in interest? The answer is straightforward. In a world inching closer to abandoning physical currency, CBDCs offer central banks an alternative to maintain financial stability. If privately backed digital currencies become the norm, they could undermine a central bank's control over financial policy and daily transactions. Yet despite their potential, CBDCs emit a fair share of criticism, and not just from politicians. Meta's ill-fated Libra project, conceived as a universal stablecoin, witnessed backlash over its stability and misuse for money laundering, eventually leading to its demise in 2022. However, that's not really a CBDC, but okay. However, the digital pound is unique in its operation. Relying on a digital ledger, the currency would be managed in tandem by private enterprises and the central bank. While this promises more security and user privacy, some factions, like Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis, have voiced concerns suggesting that CBDCs are tools for the global elite to usurp freedoms. Such sentiments echo wider societal apprehensions about issues ranging from vaccines to climate policy. The danger of misinformation. The rise of CBDCs hasn't been immune to the misinformation malaise. Conspiracy theories have linked CBDCs with grander plots like the Great Reset, suggesting global elites aim to reshape societies clandestinely. While CBDCs have so far remained somewhat peripheral in these discussions, their increasing incorporation into mainstream politics is alarming. Intriguingly, these theories and counterarguments aren't solely the preserve of the far right. Notable figures across the political spectrum have denounced CBDCs, with concerns centering on perceived erosions of freedom and privacy. While some experts find the politicization of CBDCs perplexing, others argue that they're right to be cautious. The focus should be on ensuring CBDCs uphold user privacy and resist misuse for surveillance or criminal activities. Furthermore, in the UK, the need for digital IDs to access CBDCs is another hot button issue. Beyond privacy concerns, there's the genuine risk of excluding demographics that might lack digital access, such as the elderly or economically disadvantaged. Discussion about CBDCs is incomplete without addressing the dwindling use of cash. The UK's proposal might assure that a digital pound would coexist with its physical counterpart, but in reality, obtaining and using cash is becoming increasingly arduous. As banks pull down their shutters on branches, the rhetoric around a forced transition to a cashless society gains traction. This shift isn't just a British phenomenon. Worldwide, traditional banking systems seem to favor digital over physical, unintentionally feeding into conspiracy narratives. People's attachment to tangible currency, especially among those who rely on it for budgeting, remains undeniable. Ignoring the sentiment could spell trouble for global governments and institutions. Interesting article. I mean, we saw certain CBDCs actually implement ways for the government to just take your money away. So I wouldn't put that into the conspiracy theory category. Google greenlights NFT gaming ads, tightening gambling restrictions. And tightens gambling restrictions. Google has updated its advertising policy to allow ads for blockchain-based non-fungible token games starting September 15th, 2023. The new policy permits ads for games that offer in-game purchases, but continues to ban ads for games that involve gambling with NFTs. That goes with their wider policy on not allowing ads for games with gambling in general. Hi, Azu SH03. Nice to have you with us. So there was a complete ban for a long time on advertising across its platforms, citing consumer harm or the potential for it. The ban was partially lifted in June 2021, allowing some companies creating cryptocurrency exchanges and wallets targeting the United States to advertise, provided they were registered with U.S. Financial Crimes Enforcement Network or a federal or state chartered bank entity. So it's not the first time they've opened up things at Google for crypto-related projects. So there we go. Bitcoin mining giant Riot Platforms rakes in $31 million in shocking power credits. Riot Platforms made headlines in August by reporting a decrease in the number of Bitcoins mined compared to the previous month. But the real eye-popping figure was the $31 million worth of power credits they received. Riot Platforms shared key insights into their power strategy in a presentation released on September 6th, a strategy which hinges on 3 distinct mechanisms, all intricately tied to their long-term contract with ERCOT. The credits are equivalent to about 1,136 Bitcoins, according to CEO Jason Less. The bulk of these power credits, approximately $24.2 million, stemmed from Riot's contract with the Texas grid operator, the Electric Reliability Council of Texas. Additionally, Riot reaped $7.4 million from ERCOT's demand response program. What's striking about these numbers is that they far surpass the credits the company received for the entire year of 2022. It's a testament to the evolving dynamics of the Bitcoin mining industry and Riot's adeptness at navigating this terrain. That's pretty impressive. It's a lot of credits. China and Japan use new tricks to stifle US dollar. The stage is set as China and Japan craft strategic maneuvers to mitigate the overbearing strength of the US dollar. Their determined tactics are in response to an intimidating rally of the greenback that menacingly shadows their national currencies, potentially leading them to unprecedented dips. They're no stranger to currency challenges. Historically, a subdued renminbi and yen have paved the way for a thriving export industry in these nations. Fast forward to the present day, and the picture looks rather different. This year alone has witnessed the renminbi plummeting by 5.6% against the dollar, while the yen's decline is even steeper at 11%, floating past 147 yen. per dollar. The culprits, the commanding position of the US dollar fueled further by the US's compelling economic data. However, this isn't a situation Beijing and Tokyo are willing to sit back and watch. As the dollar gains traction, top-tier officials from both Asian capitals are increasingly anxious about the looming shadow of the greenback that threatens to derail their economic stability. In a bold countermove, the People's Bank of China adjusted the currency's trading band to an unforeseen high level. This isn't just another adjustment, it's a clear signal echoing the sentiments and unease among China's leadership regarding the fast depreciating renminbi. The currency's trading spectrum, demarcated by the central bank's set midpoint every dawn, dictates its daily movement, confining it to a 2% flux on either side. Recently, the bank's decision to set the midpoint at 7.1969 renminbi was not just stronger than what the market pundits predicted, but it also represented an unparalleled deviation. The global implications of a sliding currency. Simultaneously, the gap between the US treasuries and those bonds dominated by the renminbi in China has been expanding, signaling potential increased outflows from China's indigenous debt market. As if to add insult to injury, foreign investors seem to be distancing themselves from Chinese equities. Ken Chung, a notable name in foreign exchange strategy in Asia, pinpointed China's escalating concerns over its forex stability. This apprehension is further compounded by August's massive sell-off in the stock market, spurred by doubts surrounding China's economic trajectory and its real estate sector's liquidity conundrum, and some security issues, and some stability issues and cost of business issues. A whole bunch of things have happened recently. And while the world's eyes are fixated on China's economic dance, Japan isn't faring much better. With a yield differential with the US that overshadows even China's, Japan finds itself in choppy waters, largely due to the Bank of Japan's unwavering stance on ultra-minimalist interest rates. Financial strategists like Kit Jukis opine that despite any temporary relief, a stronger yen doesn't seem to be on the horizon. In a recent statement, Masato Kanda, Japan's key voice on international finance matters, unveiled that the nation would take all necessary steps to tackle the yen's deteriorating state. This leaves market enthusiasts and observers speculating about the implications of these maneuvers on the global financial landscape. It's not always a bad thing to have a lower currency. Like said in the beginning of the article, sometimes it's good for exports and job creation. Hi, Riadul 7817, Kevin Skywalker, and Binance user 5CFC2. Nice to have you guys with us, or back with us again. U.S. court freezes assets of ex-Celsius CEO amid fraud probe. Federal authorities have frozen the financial assets of Alex Mashinsky, the former CEO of cryptocurrency lending platform Celsius. U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York unsealed a restraining order on September 5th. Celsius has entered into a non-prosecution agreement with the Department of Justice and is under new management. Genesis strikes back, accuses DCG of massive debt dodge. Genesis Global Capital has initiated legal proceedings against Digital Currency Group, alleging that the Digital Currency Group has failed to repay several loans amounting to hundreds of millions of dollars. DCG has responded to these allegations by stating that they are working to document a forbearance agreement reached in principle between DCG, the UCC, Unsecured Creditors Committee, and Genesis. Okay. We'll see if when more information is public there, what's going on. How EU's new rules force big tech into legal bind. The European juggernaut's latest initiative, the Digital Markets Act, unfurled its list of gatekeepers comprising a world-renowned tech giants like Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, ByteDance, the company behind the popular TikTok platform. The lineup is both impressive and intimidating. These gatekeepers aren't getting off easy. The EU demands these services become more interoperable with competitors and mandates data sharing with rivals. If they dare sidestep these stipulations, they could be slapped with fines so massive, like billions of dollars. It's clear the EU's intent is not just to tame, but to reclaim the tech landscape for enhanced competition. Taking a closer look, the 22 services the EU has put under scrutiny include some of our everyday staples, from Apple's iPhone operating system and Safari browser to Meta's Instagram and Messenger, and from Google's ever-present Maps and YouTube to Amazon's sprawling marketplace. Interestingly, Samsung, another tech titan, managed to elude this classification. Sneaky or smart, you decide. Further deep dives are expected. The European Commission, always up for a challenge, is debating the inclusion of Apple's iMessage and a trio of Microsoft services. And just when you thought they were done, there's also the matter of Apple's iPad operating system to deliberate upon. Let's not get lost in the weeds. The big question is, who exactly is a gatekeeper? The DMA has some criteria. These services should boast a yearly turnover surpassing 7.5 billion euros, maintain a market value over 75 billion euros, and engage at least 45 million monthly active users in the EU. But as always, there's wiggle room, and the EU regulators hold discretion to interpret beyond these metrics. Microsoft and Apple, never ones to be silenced, have already fired their opening salvos. Microsoft claims Bing, despite its vast reach, shouldn't be treated in the same vein as Google Search. Apple, meanwhile, contends that iMessage's numbers don't qualify for the new constraints. However, these big tech behemoths can't relax just yet. From this point, they've got a ticking clock. They have half a year to demonstrate their compliance, especially concerning new legalities involving data merging from various services and the restriction against favoring their products on their platforms. And that's not the end of it. By the time we welcome next spring, these companies have another hurdle to clear, presenting a compliance report laying out in black and white how they're towing the line. Fines could devour up to 10% of their global turnover if they err. A hefty price indeed. ARK Invest files for spot Ethereum ETF. So ARK Invest, teaming up with 21 Shares, the duo boldly declared their intent to debut the first ever US-based Ethereum ETF that would provide direct exposure to Ether, the crypto's world's silver. The move, undeniably audacious, the impact potentially colossal. So we'll have to see how that goes. Like there are a lot of ways that could go. Decoding Vitalik Buterin's paper on ZK proofs. Vitalik Buterin's research focuses on enhancing privacy in financial transactions using ZK proofs. This popular protocol enabled anonymous transactions. However, it faced legal issues due to misuse by malicious actors. If you're interested in going through this in detail, go ahead and check it out on cryptopolitan.com. I'm not going to get into details on ZK proofs, so that would take a while. US's 2025 accounting rules will be for crypto firms. In 2025, the Financial Accounting Standards Board, FASB, will introduce new accounting standards for cryptocurrency enterprises. Previously, companies had to bear crypto impairment losses on their balance sheets, even if the asset's value recovered. The new fair value accounting method will reflect an asset's current market value and other relevant factors. So they're changing the way you report your crypto so that it makes sense. That's cool. Crypto Today, all the hot events you missed today. So this is from today. So the Celsius saga takes a new twist. We talked about that. Tail SBF and the bail. We didn't talk about this. SBF's been battling accusations of trying to sway witnesses, and the prosecutors have labeled his attempts to regain bail as baseless. SBF's interactions with potential trial witnesses have landed him in hot water not only once, but twice. The court views these as strategic moves to tamper or influence witness statements. As a result, his bail, which stood at a staggering $250 million, was revoked. SBF's legal team has since tried to counteract this, stating that his actions, particularly comments about Carolyn Ellison, were shielded under the First Amendment. They argue that communication, regardless of its intent, is a right. Prosecutors aren't buying this, reiterating that influencing witnesses is a criminal act with no exceptions. The entire ordeal leaves one wondering in the high stakes world of crypto, how far is too far? Grayscale and the SEC. Shifting from the courtroom drama, let's talk about Grayscale and their dance with the SEC. Grayscale has had its share of legal tussles with the US SEC, specifically regarding the conversion of their flagship Bitcoin fund. In a bold move, Grayscale reached out to the SEC on September 5th, seeking clarity on the future course of action. They're not mincing words either. According to them, the SEC's reasons for holding back the GBTC's conversion have been exhausted. Grayscale asserts that the regulatory body should treat their Bitcoin trust the same as other Bitcoin futures ETFs. After all, the SEC greenlit those, so why the bias against Grayscale? They further argue that if there were other underlying reasons for the SEC's resistance, they would have been highlighted by now, especially given the multiple rejections Grayscale has faced. Grayscale's unwavering stance is that they believe their investors deserve a level playing field and they're ready to fight for it. That's crazy that they're going through so much for that. Anoma Foundation announces the launch of Namada, the forefront of multi-chain privacy. Anoma Foundation's Namada introduces shielded swaps, allowing private interactions with assets across diverse chains, initially partnering with Osmosis and the Cosmos ecosystem. The protocol employs the Comet BFT consensus mechanism. It's compatible with all Cosmos-based chains and provides a seamless two-way bridge to Ethereum. That's something to look into if you're interested. Binance continues European clampdown. Privacy coins now delisted in Belgium. Binance has ceased trading specific privacy coins like Monero and Mobile Coin for its Belgian users in response to local regulations. Earlier in the year, the exchange made similar moves in France, Italy, Poland, and Spain, reflecting the broader European concerns about anonymous crypto transactions. As the European Union intensifies its stance on money laundering linked with anonymous crypto transactions, Binance proactively aligns its operations by delisting privacy coins in several European countries, including Belgium. That's bad news for privacy coins and privacy coin supporters. San Francisco misses out on becoming a global crypto epicenter, says Ripple co-founder. San Francisco misses out on a lot of good things. Stringent U.S. regulations have curtailed San Francisco's global crypto leader potential, leading firms to look elsewhere for growth opportunities. While Ripple Labs won its legal battle with the SEC, Larson stresses that most U.S. crypto advancements result from legal victories rather than supportive regulation. True. I'd also say Silicon Valley is not in a good place right now. Like California is not a good place to do business in general. British pound drops as Bank of England says interest rate hike is close to peak. Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey has stated that the UK is close to the peak of the current interest rate hike cycle. Bailey's remarks have raised doubts about the likelihood of a November rate increase after the anticipated hike in September. There's reduced optimism about the pound's performance, particularly compared to the euro and the US dollar. Therefore, people that do Forex trading probably dropped the pound for something else, expecting it not to continue to hold as much value. IMF and G20 unveil coordinated roadmaps to regulate crypto assets. The IMF and Financial Stability Board under G20 leadership have released a joint policy paper outlining a coordinated approach to regulate crypto assets aiming to mitigate global financial risks. The paper emphasizes the need for comprehensive regulation and suggests targeted temporary restrictions as more effective than blanket bans, particularly for emerging economies. The roadmap also addresses the risks posed by the proliferation of stablecoins and calls for clear tax treatment and application of existing laws to the crypto sector. Interesting. Archify revolutionizes high-value asset investments with fractional ownership on Avalanche. Alliance Block has launched Archify, a real-world assets investment platform on the Avalanche ecosystem, aiming to democratize access to high-value assets like exclusive art, luxury cars, and collectibles. Archify leverages blockchain technology to enable fractional ownership, allowing high net worth individuals to unlock liquidity for traditionally illiquid assets. The platform's inaugural luxury collectible investment features globally acclaimed artist Dan Vo. The platform plans to integrate various upgrades, including identity management and compliance solutions, and expand its offerings to other high-value asset classes, setting a new standard for tokenizing RWAs. Interesting. Eurozone economy saw minimal growth in the second quarter, lower than predictions. The Eurozone's GDP grew by a mere 0.1% in the second quarter, falling short of earlier projections. The Eurozone performance was notably impacted by a stagnant Germany, traditionally a robust economic powerhouse. Economists are warning of potential stagnation or even recession in the Eurozone, with recent data indicating a contraction in output by 0.5% in the July to September period. Interesting. So in this map, you see the countries in blue are part of the EU. So it's Cyprus, or half of Cyprus. And the light blue ones don't have the euro. It's like Denmark, Sweden, Poland, Czech Republic, Hungary, Croatia. Actually, Croatia has the euro now. I've seen Croatian euros. Romania and Bulgaria don't have the euro. But all of these other countries do. All right. Let's see. It's time to check out the crypto prices. All right. The fear and greed index is still at 35, like all previous days this week so far. Bitcoin is at $25,718, and it just changed. $25,723, and it just changed again. $25,718.43. Managed to get through it before it changed a fourth time. It's down 0.05% in the last 24 hours, up 0.25% in the last hour. So it's quite volatile, moving quite a lot today. Today's volume is $11.6 billion. So quite a lot of trade. It's 452,667 Bitcoins. Ethereum is at $1,630.04, up 0.26% in the last hour, but down 0.19% in the last 24 hours. BNB is at $214.42. It changed while I was reading it, up 0.33% in the last hour, down 0.28% in the last 24 hours. I'm seeing a lot of green in the last hour and a lot of red in the last 24 hours. This could mean something, could mean nothing, just saying. XRP is at 49 cents 94, fell below the 50 cents, up 0.19% in the last hour, down half of 1% in the last 24 hours. Cardano's ADA is at 25 cents 45, up 0.26% in the last hour, down 0.76% in the last 24 hours. Doge is at 6 cents 313, up a third of 1% in the last hour, down 1.21% in the last 24 hours. Solana's SOL is at $19.49, up 0.53% in the last hour, down 1.40% in the last 24. TRX for Tron is up 1.68% in the last 24 hours, up 3.72% in the last 7 days, and up 0.10% in the last hour, 7 cents 893. Let's see. Ton from Toncoin is up 6.95% in the last 7 days, up 3.02% in the last 24 hours, up 0.18% in the last hour to $1.82. Which is interesting. So let's see who's been doing the best in the last 24 hours. ASTR from ASTAR up 4.81% to 5 cents 82. Render RNDR up 4.64% in the last 24 hours to $1.43. And Ton from Toncoin we talked about. The third best in the last 24 hours right now. Maker up 2.90% in the last 24 hours up 0.88% last hour to $1,139.05. That's quite good. And then biggest losers for today, SNX Synthetics down 5.91% in the last 24 hours, but up 16.17% in the last 7 days, and up 0.42% in the last hour to $2.33. Let's see, what do we have? I'll do the next two because they're down 2% in the last 24 hours. So Compound's COMP is down 2.09% in the last 24 hours, up 0.11% in the last hour to $39.65. SWI is up 0.43% in the last hour, but down 2.02% in the last 24 hours to 48 cents. And both SWI and Compound were down over 6.60% in the last 7 days. Everything else is under 2% here, so gives you an idea of what's going on there. So hi BTC Binance 42 and Binance user 3A5D4. Nice to have you guys join us. So I mean that's it for today's show. We've gone through everything, I believe. It hasn't been very long, for sure. But yeah, thank you for joining us. I'll set up the show for tomorrow. Remember to subscribe so you get our notifications, and don't hesitate to like the video if you found it interesting, helpful, whichever words you like to use. Thank you very much. Have a great end of the work week. Have a great Thursday and Friday. See you guys tomorrow.